that's really the weakness that Neon need to try and identify how they're going to be able to play around this. I feel like you gotta just Lesh. You have to. Otherwise, Execration will be picking it up. Although they
10
haven't banned the
seconds
Lena
remaining.
either. Lena's still in the pool here.
Five
In regards to
seconds remaining.
Execration or Neon going for the leaner?
Both, kind of. The thing is, like, you want a winning lane, right? But if Bob was to play the Lena, very vulnerable to the Earth Spirit Darkseer. And even just going that second
Dire
item
team
BKB
pick.
can leave you a little worried against the Winter's Curse, right? Because it's just going to reduce the effectiveness of this first really big item timing that you've got. The Spectre, very good against the Wyvern because you can't run. You know, you just get onto her, you use the dagger, you're able to chase through the trees,
10
and
seconds
yeah, just
remaining.
take her down even through the Cold Embrace.
Do you like the Spectre pick
5
overall though?
seconds
Like I
remaining.
know you said it's pretty good versus the Wyvern, but how do you feel about it this game?
Mm,
I personally, I'm not a
feels a
huge
bit
fan of
weird.
Spectre Mag. I think you're picking this hero. You first
Slow.
pick Magnus. Why are you not going for a better hero to use in power? Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like you have this incredible hero to amplify your position one. We've been speaking about that a lot this series. Both teams are putting emphasis on that. And you go for a Spectre. Like you're someone who doesn't use Empower to a rate like any other carries do. So that doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why
Radiant
you go
team
down
back.
this route.
The only argument there is that this Magnus is mid, right? And they're just looking to keep their options open. They're not going to be able, like, they're going to need to, if that is the case, they're going to need to pick a last pick because they don't have the last pick of the overall draft that still remains some level of flexibility.
10 seconds
Because this
remaining.
Magnus, like, if it's very clearly mid, then they could still look to reply to it. I
5
think we're going to
seconds
reveal a lot of
remaining.
information with what Execration are actually looking to ban out in these next two picks as to what these lanes are actually going to end up looking like. Like, if, for example, if it's a mid mag, you want to get rid of the Razor, something that I feel like Mimang Dyer, it fits a bit more of his playstyle. You know, it's a speedier hero without being a spirit hero. You can build up for being tanky. You can be in on the front lines. There's some okay tower
Dire
taking
team
potential
back.
from it.
I
Just
I would agree that Razor looks good overall, but I think you actually need a spirit hero. I feel like if
gotta kill
they
Oracle.
you have to. Like if you pick a spirit hero, I've
Radiant
really favored
team
Neon's
back.
draft. Now you banned out the last one. I guess you don't have
Dire
you don't
team
have
back.
23rd pick, so it's difficult. But
They've already got Earth Spirit though, right? And this
that's not
is
enough. That's not enough. We've seen
Hustler's a good
games.
Earth Spirit.
Hustler's a great Earth Spirit. We've seen way too many games where you have had one hero to jump the backline and it has not been enough.
Mm.
I just
10 seconds remaining.
we like we saw game one the
Nature's
importance
Prophet.
Team
What
pick.
if it's a Nature's Prophet?
where you
Dire
put that though.
team pick.
I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Tinker.
Well, that's
You got it
another
now.
way.
Like you
Yeah,
like okay.
or Zeus.
Spectre's rough. But it's pretty like I want you got to go melee here. You need to pair it with the Darkseer.
10
What do you got?
seconds remaining.
No spirits. Who's a spirit esque? Like who can play that role?
5 seconds remaining.
Oh my!
How long have they got? They got a full minute. All right. I'm looking through the hero list.
You could Ricky. Wait,
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, mid doesn't sound the greatest, but like it has to be some like it's great versus supports. Pretty cool with Iron Shell. Someone has to jump the back line. I don't care who it is. Get crazy with your choice. Let me hear
Night
what you got.
Stalker.
Yeah,
Night Stalker.
happy with
Lane,
that.
pretty terrible, but Dark Ascension, you know, getting onto the back lines, melee hero for Ion Shell, it's okay. You know, like we're just trying to find something that fits in with this
Where do they
entire
go?
draft
Where
that
do they
has
go?
some level of mobility.
You may now
Hmm.
select your
It's the
heroes.
last remaining like semi gap closing hero that
Yeah.
they've got.
Um,
Hustler's going to need to pop off for them to win this game, in my opinion. Because even like just with Haunt, that provides how long does Haunt last? Not a Spectre
8,
player.
8, 7.
I mean
I don't know.
that's a lot of time.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
5, 6, 7 seconds with levels. That's a lot of time for Bob to be able to dish out a ton of damage in these engagements. Like he'll reach that level 15, he'll most likely get the extra heat-seeking missile rocket, and he'll just be able to launch those out from afar purely with the vision that you're able to provide from the Haunt. And that's outside of just everything he's able to do with just a simple blink dagger, right? So Hustler is the main man to be looking at for any kind of plays being made on Neon. He needs to kill both the Tinker and the Oracle. It's a nice, easy way to be able to go about things. And Mamang Daya, at least this time around, he's got an okay lane. You know, you shouldn't get completely bodied out by the Tinker, especially super early on. You know, you can look to overwhelm the Tinker a little bit. Sure, the blinds are going to be a little bit annoying for securing those, those range creeps. But you're still going to have the Scream of Pain, for example, if you hit level 3, for example, to be able to get those last hits and then just bully him out with the Shadow Strike as much as possible. So, yeah, the key win conditions are Mamangdara and Hustler having a good game for Neon, and for Execration, it's Ken, RR, and Bob look to avoid a lot of these initiations coming out from the only two, really, mobile heroes that they've got on the team.
Is there a lineup that you'd say is easier to execute between the two?
Neither seems really easy, to be
Yeah.
honest. Let me look at the drafts when they get into the game, because again, it for me, at least you can look to group up a little bit more around the Terrorblade when you're looking to push, right? And then you can look to have that counter initiation when they might be trying to make a play onto the Terrorblade. It always feels bad though to just lead with the TB onto the front lines, because those illusions are going to get dealt with pretty damn quickly just by using the laser. So we'll see how Bob's position is going to be in all of these, and I feel like the key playmaker, if that's going to happen, is again going to be Hustler, right? Like, is Hustler going to be on point with his Master Tier Earth Spirit to be able to counter initiate any kind of aggression that comes onto Palos when he's trying to push? And hopefully they won't give up the first blood again this game. And they're split up a little bit more this time around. BDZ just having a little bit of a wonder, seeing if perhaps there was any kind of wards looking to be placed towards the top side of the map.
I'm still undecided. I think I see an easier way for Dyer to take over this early game with like first Terrorblade metamorphosis. Not first, I should say, but like first where he gets active with it, where I want to see Palace really go bot early and take that tower. As a Tinker player, you need to have as many towers up early as possible just to offer some formation on the map, a way to protect you so you can farm up in your jungle, and also a TP location. I know when you...
I think the TP location, sorry to interrupt, the TP location's even more important now, right? Because 100%. You don't buy boots to travel, you got King Conveyance, and level 1, it's only to structures. You can't TP to units anymore until you're at least level 12. So keeping those towers up is, like you mentioned, going to be such a key priority, and they don't have the greatest heroes at being able to protect against that.
Yeah, and I think like with how Dyer can play this lineup, you could just really split up the map very easy, and if you can get out of the laning stage, which they should be able to do so, but I think when you get towers and then can play a very high macro game away from the Oracle, we could see the Darkseid really start to be utilized. You've got Darkseid, Earth Spirit to combine together, Quap as well, if she can start to get a couple of kills, could snowball into an early Orchid, and then it's going to feel like the map is shrinking for Bob. That is how Neon need to play. If you give Execration space, then Spectre is going to be happy with using Empower. You've got a Mag as well who wants to try and find items, and a Tinker who, you say his weak stages is what, 7 to 11, right?
7 to 12 is where you get strong again, just because of the huge ability, the channeling duration of that rearm gets reduced by a full 1.5 seconds. So you're able to dish out so much more damage in a lot of these team fights, and as well, like I mentioned, even if you've lost a tower, you can join in onto a team fight through the use of the King Conveyance.
That's another thing we haven't really brought up, just the ex-teammate factor. Palos and Co. I've seen CEO a couple times. Looks like he's got a lot of respect for BDZ. No wonder. I mean, BDZ's always had some incredible performances.
I mean, there is another way to take that, is that no matter how bad your performance is, you're not going to get kicked because you're the CEO.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Alright, so how do we feel? Are there any lanes in particular that could be really one-sided for one team or the other?
I would say most likely going to be this bot side for Execration's favor, just because you've got that Oracle, right? Like, how is Enryu going to be able to farm? He's done a pretty decent job so far with it, but you can just look to use that Fortune's End on its cooldown. So getting levels up, I wonder if he even might opt to put a few more points into it as opposed to the Purifying Flames. I know Purifying Flames so important for the harassment potential, but just to have that lower cooldown for combating the Iron Shell could be a key thing as well.
You know, we saw Mizu have some really rough lanes with the Darks here, but they always made sure he was able to catch back up through the jungle. So I wonder if Hustler is going to play a very sacrificial game like we're seeing him do at the moment, just consistently pulling the creeps back, and then maybe soon he'll start to try and prioritize some stacks as well.
You can see Bob's having, of course, a much rougher relative time against Mamang Daya here. Just the 2 points in the Shadow Strike keeps him very healthy. Bob, again, no points in the rearm just yet, so you're not going to just instantly be able to get back to base, refill everything, and come back to the lane. So Mamang Daya is going to need to take advantage as much as he can, bully it out entirely to secure both water runes. So I think this is a really key timing now for Bob. If he can go in onto him, good use of the salve though, to be back on full HP. Might just look to wait for level 4 here on Mamang Daya before he makes an aggressive move.
Ah, we caught it. We caught it. You can't say we didn't. Palace in UK. Last remaining duration with the Metamorphoses, so a big kill to pick up here. It really looks like this lane is not going easy as well for Tino.
Radiant structures are
I mean,
fortified.
it's not the hardest lane. Like, Wyvern is a pretty weak laner. I suppose the issue is just, you're someone that needs to do a lot of physical damage with your right clicks to be able to take down a high armor target. You've got BDZ providing an okay amount of protection, but you can't really do much against the Terrorblade, especially if he's able to get in onto you with those... actually, he doesn't have the illusion skilled up just yet. So, it was just maybe some poor positioning coming through from Tino.
Reflection would be nice against the Mag. He's got high damage early. Just beating himself against his own head.
Top side here, Mamang Daya, he's going to need to be a little bit careful. Not able to get rid of that water rune. Having to be careful, of course, with his positioning, but Bob might be the one caught out here.
Oh, do it. Jump. You wouldn't. Just dare the task. It's going to be a bit cautious, though, as a beautiful Earth Spike onto 2. Bob will still fall to the neutrals. No, I thought BTC was going to die to neutrals as well. Oh, UK gets a double. And Hustler... Okay.
Big win there for Neon.
Yep.
Okay, being able to pick that one up, not give away that gold bounty over to the Queen of Pain. She was also... I suppose she died first, so she doesn't get the experience at least, but UK will more than happily take that.
Yeah, meanwhile, it does look like Enryu had to TP back to base. I'm not quite sure how, because we caught the loss because we were kind of watching mid, but maybe Oracle was just being a bit of a nuisance, bullying him out with Mob. Because Oracle, he didn't TP mid though, so he would have had to take some time to run there. Rather so. Enryu's got decent amount of loss, it's all things considering. Like level... about to be level 5, and it's exactly what you want with the Iron Shell. And then you could probably just bully RR. Like, I'd like a really deep ward in the lane. I might not even need it.
Him.
Straight on top of him. A big kill to find, considering this is a lane that we really thought to not be going as well. So any extra bonus you can get, you're so happy with.
And this is why I was thinking that maybe he might look to go for the second point into the into the Fortune's End instead of the Purifying Flames, right? That came off cooldown just before he was about to die, so he wasn't even able to get it off. But if he had the 2 points into it 3 seconds earlier, you're able to get it. And, it just doesn't feel like they're using the Purifying Flames for the harassment potential quite as much as they should.
I like how they're playing around mid.
Oh, and they're also popping the Metamorphosis on this top side with the Siege Creep wave, so taking a lot of attention away from this TV.
Oh, they've jumped. The main guy's got the Sonic Wave, a big first use of the ultimate. Getting rid of the Tinker, really nicely played. They've got a bit more of a power spike here in regards to level 6s between the Quap and the Tinker matchup, so I love how they're utilizing that. Instantly putting on cooldown as well, because it's got a big one. They might also look to jump RR, and he's just enabling the further attempt. I mean, Dyers are already getting a little bit of revenge from this poor performance in game 2.
I'm not as big a fan of that. That's a classic example of maybe... do you call it? Having the blinkers on, basically, just wanting to be too close-minded about the objectives that you need to take. Of course, it's great to be able to get a kill, especially considering it went a bit of a Mang Dire, but you'd killed the Tinker. That's really the only way you're going to be able to defend against this mid push, and they had a siege creep there hitting the tower. But instead of actually pushing, they ended up letting it die, and well, now Tinker is going to keep retaining that mid tier 1 tower for the next little bit. So, you know, a kill's a kill, but a tower is much more important.
I again really want to see Pelos use this next metamorphosis to their advantage. I want a tower gone. I don't care if it's bot, I don't care if it's mid. You got to get a tower super early on, because you're really only relying on either catapult timings, which is coming up in the next 2 minutes 30, or metamorphosis. And for Radiant, you're only relying on catapults. You've got nothing else to play off. They might force Marb, though, to haunt out. I mean, Dagger, of course, is always a capability, but...
Some okay pressure onto towers. I just feel like it should be more, you know? Like, Neon have set themselves up really well with how this top lane has gone, and, well, now, at least, Tinker, he's level 6. So he's able to go back to base constantly with that King Conveyance, and just immediately rejoin the lane, even being able to pick up that regen rune. If he's able to hold it on for this push that you've been hoping for with a metamorphosis, he could just stand along in the trees. Again, they've got no real gap close outside of Hustler, and you don't want to be diving underneath a tower into the trees on the other side of the map as the Queen of Pain this early on. You don't have the survivability to sustain that kind of movement.
You know, something we haven't really spoken about is how we want to see Tino look to play the early game. Is there any items you want for the mag to kind of offset this early aggression that Neon will have? Or, you know, actually hold that thought for a second. As Neon are actually smoked up. Bob showing deep behind the towers. Not going to be an easy attempt at all. But you see, whenever Sonic Wave is up, they really want to make a jump.
Even making sure to cut this wave. The courier is going to die. It only has a TP scroll on it, but again, good recognition by BTZ.
Oh, this is huge. Look at the stack they're taking. A quad at least at the hard.
All right.
They see it as well. Radiant have a ward nearby. No RP skill. He's even going to drop Sonic Wave for it. Eclipse on BDZ. Nice roll in, but here's the Haunt out. What are you really going to get from the Haunt, though? There's no one that can follow up on the Spectre. He'll even drop the wall, but Bob's going to be cautious now of his position where he rearms. And no escape for RR. Vac back on the high ground. Simultaneously, they lost Mag through the wings. Palos just solo kills him, and now they should lead this into the tier 1 tower. And Meta's been used full duration, but yeah.
It's fine. Like, they'll be able to take this tower just with all the TB illusions taking up the damage. You've got the creep wave joining in again. You might think it was a bit of a ambitious use of the Sonic Wave, but it's able to clean up a hero as well. It's totally fine.
Oh my god, they're getting Ancients too. This is one thing I wanted to bring up like 2 minutes ago, but we just had a couple of smokes come out and fights from Neon. But Tinker is someone who really relies on stacks because, like you said, this is a hero from level 7 to 12 is your weakest. So if you can get stacks, find that faster blink just to have the ease of, you know, clearing out some side lanes and also the mass experience you can get from it. But they got all the hard camp and about majority of the Ancients, probably like 3/4 of it. So Neon are just... what a series though. Like, game 1 was close, game 2 night and day difference. Execration just absolute execute Neon. Like, no thought of them from being able to come back, and now Neon are just turning it upside down here. Like, their laning stage is flawless right now.
Yeah, the one hero that ended up slipping through to Mang Dai was one that he's pretty comfortable on as well. You know, he's a gold tier Queen of Pain. It just feels like his strength, in my eyes, is his timing with when he looks to join into a lot of these team fights. And so, you know, the Kunkka, the Dawnbreaker, the Queen of Pain, they're all ones that really rely on a bit more of a heavy cooldown with their ultimate. And Queen of Pain feels that way as well, as they're looking to connect again with this siege creep onto the bottom tower. It enables you to push with a not so much of a pushing lineup.
Yeah, love this.
For RR, not going to find him, but objective completed.
How many TPs was down? Cop's on cooldown, Dark's here. First Spirit's got a TP if he wants to go top.
He's just trying to run away for now.
He's doing his job.
Be able to protect this, yep.
Yeah, that's all he needs to do. Get rid of the catapult wave, and now that's pretty much tower defended.
Yeah, Wyvern's great at this. Just stay around. Just the 1 point in the Arctic Burn is all that's needed for that flying capability. And yeah, just continuing to play around that area. If they went on him now, he would probably be dead, but considering you just lost the tower, you would always have to worry about the TP rotations coming through from the rest of Neon.
And second tier 1 down though, nonetheless. I mean, mid's going to be next on the agenda. Metamorphosis is up and available. All the ultimates still at the ready. So I really would not hate to see OB.Neon try to look to make a play around that. Still tops where the aggression will lie. Tino has to drop the RP. They probably will even need the Finger of Death because Dyer's starting to come over the top. Hustler the first assistance. Just a 1-for-1 trade at the moment, but again, a lot of ultimates committed.
Radiant structures.
A couple of ultimates for a Winter Wyvern, and you're probably not even going to be able to get the tower. You know, you're going to have to defend against this tower mid.
Yeah.
So UK job absolutely completed. Even able to get RR. Hasn't finished up his level 6 yet. So, you know, you've got this false promise, which is good against the likes of the Earth Spirit, but unfortunately, he just hasn't been in a position to be able to use it just yet because of how bodied he got in the laning stage.
I mean, this is just legitimately everything we were hoping for from Neon. Just fast pace, take towers, unrelentless, just pedal to the metal, do not give them any breathing room at all, and you've done just that. I mean, Tino just picked up a Blink Dagger, but your RP's on cooldown. What are you going to use Blink for?
Those cheeky Blink skewers, but there's no real easy tower to push now either, so it's always going to make things a little bit more challenging.
What does Bob do? He's got 1 point King Conveyance, like, what? Oh no. This is actually a disaster. Is this over? It's 11 minutes, 30 minutes. It's a big call. What does Tinker do, man? He's got no T1 towers.
He's got no T1 towers. He has very little farm towards his Blink. He's got very little experience as well. That's the key thing for mine. You know, I feel like if you're level 11 at this point, you're like, okay, you know, my power spike is coming very soon. But right now, it just doesn't feel like you could do anything to stop this ongoing push coming out, which means that Palos is able to use that Manta style. You can even get some of this ghost push happening with his illusions if you're wanting to. Again, just continue to put pressure on all areas of the map. They'll finally, maybe, be able to take this top tower. Although, UK has the Winter's Curse available if you wanted to TP up there. But I think they're happy with just holding 5 heroes up on this top side of the map and splitting the farm, getting more experience, and a greater net worth advantage by, you know, just farming where they want to right now on Neon.
I mean, is there any window you could see for Execration to maybe take this next fight as are stepping over the boundaries here for a support? At least drop the ultimate, but it just sets up for UK to lock in the line as well. So now double wall. And now that's going to be 2 deaths instead of just the 1. I love the combination here. Dark Spear, Earth Spear. I mean, you got to mention as well the fact of the Winter Wyvern, but we were highlighting you got to get out of the laning stage here for the Dark Spear, and they've done that. And, you know, surprisingly, he's even second in net worth.
Tower being pushed out here with just illusions. Palos, the main diet, looking to continue the farm going a little bit here. But that was a great Winter's Curse. You will use it, excuse me, on the Oracle immediately after he pops the false promise. He had a healing salve going. He was wanting to just, you know, keep purifying and flames himself and walk away. Just nullifies the entirety of that.
I know you brought up that the Wyvern, you know, is going to need a lot of farm this game, at least in regards to the blink potential for the, you know, kind of reset of a team fight to deal with RP. But I mean, with how much map control they've been able to play with, this has really enabled Wyvern to have a decent amount of farm. I mean, he's just been taken over in regards to net worth from the line, but UK's going Glimmer Cape first, which honestly I don't hate. I feel like that gives you at least some way to stay alive versus either the Shadow Step or the Haunt, and also kind of enable one of the your heroes, I suppose, not to get bursted from the Tinker.
Sure, but it's as simple as carrying dust on either Hustler.
We'll see what they can do here. A little bit of trouble. Yeah, they'll burst him down. Okay, the 1-2 punch. Finger of Death along with the Tinker's incessant spam from afar.
Yeah, but you just need to carry dust on Spectre. I feel like that's... Maybe he'll be able to get away with it once, but as soon as he sees that Glimmer come out, I don't expect that we'll see Marb without a dust at any stage of the game. As
Tino's going to look to jump. Henry's pretty goddamn beef. He's got Greaves as well, but he won't have an opportunity to use it. So a couple of pickoffs for Execration. Nice sequence of events here.
Bob just needs to get back to base. Again, they've got the Haunt, they've got the Shadow Step available on the Spectre, so they're going to look to consistently play around. And again, it's entirely dependent, in my eyes, on Bob being able to actually join in onto a creep wave. So it doesn't matter where you take the team fight, as long as it's, you know, if someone's showing on a lane on their own where a Spectre feels like I can kill this person, it's because there's a creep wave there. So Bob needs to be able to take advantage of that and join in the fight as well. He's close. He's real close. So 3 and 13 feels like it could start to swing a little bit more in Execration's favor in the next minute or so.
Really want to see Die go.
They're looking to smoke. Yep.
Well, didn't catch them out though. But
aggressive ward placed by RR, maybe looking to place to catch someone out with those types of smoke plays. I think they might be able to catch out Tino here. Oracle's definitely not the one you want to run into, and RR's always been so great with his positioning there, and there we go. Pops the smoke. He'll give up his life, but you're happy with that. Gives the space for the Tinker. Level 12 now on Bob. Here we go. Yep. This is their timing. Who are we going to be able to catch out?
But they maybe just the creep wave too. So Tino should be able to... Oh, they get the silence actually. Tino can still skewer out. Roll has to be on the mark. I guess it's not even going to matter though. Tino, difficult avenue for him to just TP away, so it's wasting time. What are you getting across the map? Bob, like you said, closing on the Aghanims, level 12. BDZ's got Blink now completed. I really feel like Dai missed a bit of a window where they could have still really started to choke them that much more. Like, you had a great early game, everything was going your favor, and you kind of just, you know, sat back a little bit.
I think they should have, at the minimum, be able to take out this bottom tier 2 tower, or at least force the glyph so that it enables the next push beyond that. At least they're looking to group around this area a little bit. Of course, you've got Hustler there, you've got Enryu on the back lines as well. They're taking advantage of that nighttime to make sure that he's completely invisible. And here we go. So they've got something out of it now. It's looking okay for OB.Neon. I say okay, it's like a 5k net worth lead, you know, 3 to 15, but I'm telling you, they have absolute potential to be able to come back into this game right now on Execration. It's only 30 gold away from that Aghanim Scepter on Tinker as well.
Tino's going to be cautious. I see the shockwave. Of course, Skewer still a bit of a nuisance here with how he's holding it.
Here we go. What sort of play are we going to look to make here? Because again, like Lion, in my opinion, needs to be playing around where people want to be fighting. So you can see RR, BDZ, they're the ones that want to pick off anyone that's going to jump up towards this top side. Hustler, probably not worth it, but if you're only using the Shadow Step for that potential, you don't really care all that much. Does he actually see them with that kick forward? Don't think he did. Well, you'll take that.
It's clear which of us has the degree.
How do we feel about this game going like later and later? Is there a side that should be more favorable than the other, or do we feel like it's going to be pretty even?
I don't think you can... It's too close to call at this stage, just because it's going to be completely dependent on how these next few engagements go, who they're able to pick off. Like, will Mamangdai get caught out here? I think you can very easily look to come in. Yep.
That they will. Tino's going to drop the RP, and BDZ will make sure he's perfect with the chain control, for there's no escape. 3 Finger of Death charges. Meanwhile, Tinker does die mid though. And Ryu and Hustler using this opportunity to jump Bob. Well, he wasn't paying attention, and our UK is also going to look to try and cancel a TP. And it'll just be solo on the line. So 2 for 1 across the map. Losing Queen of Pain is not what you like to see, but still, Bob did die. RR as well is going on from Enryu. He's got Palace swinging on over on the back line here. Tino's just going to have to sit to the side and watch as Palace's Terrorblade rips him apart. Top of the net worth 4-0-1.
Been wanting to try using the Shadow Amulet, which I found a little odd, but I mean, if Bob doesn't die there, that's completely different, because you had no glyph on Neon's side and you had that siege creep wave on the top side as well. So you can maybe look to group around that a little bit. You had good vision in the area. You had Spectre who'd only used the Shadow Step, not the Haunt, so you could have looked to try and disrupt any kind of teamfight engagement. that Neon were going for. Like, I feel like, of course, it's very important to pick off these heroes. You know, Core's fantastic, but Wyvern's the one that needs to die if you're going to try and make any kind of push forward happen.
That's a big item as well for Hustler. Just rush to the BKB. They are going to look to smoke up. UK the
Found the
target.
Wyvern.
Radiant's top tower is
Should
under
have the damage to get rid of him before the Embrace or the Glimmer. They're going to still look to take the fight. They've wasted the False Promise, exactly what you want when you're against an Oracle. They're going to look to try and catch more out as well. Hustler rolling from afar, deep behind the T2 tower. They're even going to drop the Sonic Wave to try and clean off Tino.
Radiant's middle tower
So a
is
2 for
under
1,
attack.
and our tower under siege.
That's 2 tier 2 towers. Oh, they've got the creep waves still not quite yet joining them.
Regeneration.
But yeah, I mean, they got the right target that they needed to be able to start that fight. But again, it felt like we were lacking the presence coming out from Tinker and the Spectre. Maybe Bob just playing a little bit scared because of that previous death around the mid lane. And he will now, especially now that he's seen Hustler's BKB as well, right? Like, you don't have the freedom to just try and stand there and man fight with your defense matrix. Like, Earth Spirit doesn't really care.
Are you wanting to see Darkseer go blink now that pipe's completed? Or is this another utility item?
I mean, it's not the greatest blink back wall sort of game.
Yeah.
Really only Spectre's the one that you're concerned about, but I suppose it's nice just to be able to have that additional layer of being able to catch out the Tinker, for example, during a keen conveyance away. You know, blink, vacuum while he's in the trees.
Being Dire is the target of the moment. Easy to start. And our Spectre getting involved as well. We're seeing just his pick-up potential with these two. It's not make Dota easy for Ming Dai. Had a very strong first 12, 13 minutes or so, but lately it's a bit more on the grimmer side.
Set in stone.
Big timing about to come out for Tinker, though, level 15. I'm assuming that he's going to go for the heat-seeking missile count here. No, actually, keen conveyance channel time. So just wanting to be able to get away as quickly as possible. I mean, I kind of feel like that's what your Blink Dagger's for. Just to be able to get you out a lot of these engagements. Maybe he just really wants to connect through if they are able to get this these setups like we've just saw on the Mang Daya, right? But he did no damage to that Queen of Pain. Everything was done by the rest of the team. So maybe he just wants to be part of it. You know, he wants to be loved as well.
Understand. Everyone wants a little bit of love in their life. Oh, they're getting pincered into the moment. Mob's really the ideal target. No way. Wait, did they not see him go up there?
He doesn't
Aras,
know.
everyone has to not get away. Okay. Well, at least you get a little bit of consolation prize. Cannot believe two of them made it away from that. That was a really nice maneuver from Dire, but they feels like they need some objectives though. Like they haven't been able to really get anything across the map. What's the time we're waiting for on Neon where they feel the strongest?
I mean, they're just going to walk on into Roche. Not sure how I feel about that, considering you've got the Finger of Death up in 10 seconds. You don't take Roche incredibly fast with the Terrorblade just sitting in his melee form. Tinker, of course, can look to join any kind of engagement. Haunt, Oracle's back alive. It feels like a bit of an odd spot. Maybe they're just feeling like they're clearly the stronger team around these sort of closed-in Roche fights, just through the Winter's Curse, of course, the Darkseer, the Magnetize, Sonic Wave, and, well, they're going to be able to take it uncontested. A little bit surprising for mine that they were just allowed to let that happen, but that's what happens when you don't have anyone that's very easily able to start a lot of
Bottom lane.
engagements.
UK, it's just himself. He didn't find the Tinker with a creep too, so the curse not long enough, but Spectres came down bottom. The rest of the team are way too far away. Tinker's going to look to rejoin. Mob needs assistance. Are they going to be fast enough, however? Bob gets
Well, they
clipped
found
once
Tinker.
again from Hustler, but BDZ finally in the wing, jumps in forward, drops the finger. They have a cancel to the TP, they do. And Ryu last second with the vacuum, but Bob still is going down beefy with the helper RR. False promise jump, now the blink away. He's going to look for the TPR. Bob, he's going to be AO. No, he dies. He didn't get the King Conveyance out. Still on cooldown.
He needed the defense matrix. He just wasn't able to pop it quickly enough to be able to block out that initial damage. So even though it was some really nice positioning by both RR and BDZ to attempt to save their cause, it's just, again, a little bit of poor positioning coming through from Bob there. It always feels like he's there just that little bit too late, you know, like a couple of seconds, and that's all you really need at this level to punish.
I mean, Palace's net worth just continues to grow as well. 6,000 ahead of Spectre. And even though we saw the couple of deaths on the Queen of Pain, who might just add another one to the tally, man, Tino, along with the two, are just getting kill after kill on the Queen of Pain.
And that's without the Finger of Death as well. So
Yeah.
Spectre starting to become pretty dangerous. You can see going into the Orchid, really wanting to get onto the back lines. It's another kill for Palos there. Not even needing to use anything, basically. Just able to right-click down this Winter Wyvern without any abilities whatsoever.
Bob is under a ward.
They're not wanting to reveal it too much. Palos is just like, just farming
Radiant's
happily.
middle tower is under attack.
Don't know what Tinker's here. Well, they're going to need to respond to this because, again, more and more of your towers being
Radiant's
removed
top
from the
tower
map.
is under
So
attack.
places to farm,
Radiant's top tower
it's not
has
incredibly
fallen.
safe.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm trying to pick out who I would say has had the best game so far from Neon's side. I mean, it's hard to go past Palos, right? But he hasn't done anything spectacular. You know, I feel like it's what the rest of the team has really enabled him to
Dire's
do. His
bottom
farming
tower
patterns,
is
of
under
course,
attack.
great. You'd have to give it to Hustler, right?
Yeah, I
It
was
just
gonna
feels
say.
like he's
Radiant's
enabled
middle
so
tower
much of what
is
they've been
under
trying to do.
attack.
0 kills, but 16 assists out of the 23 that they've been able to obtain thus far. Always able to get it onto the key targets, whether it be the Tinker or the Oracle. And this was the hero that they needed, like I said, at the very start of the game, to pop off if they were to have any kind of chance.
Alright, well, they're going to use the ward this time. It's for Tino. Fortunately, not the Tinker. Oh, one thing I want to mention real quick. He did go the Ag Shard with the Hauntos, so I'm excited to see how much value actually gets out of it. But they're up on your high ground, Tinker. You need to get set up.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Have to be careful with where he gets set up as well. No BKB needed to be used there on Hustler.
Dire's bottom
Be able to
tower
protect
is
against
under
that.
attack.
Even going to look
he's
to buy
found him.
back. He's caught him out. Hustler with the BKB. Now he can lock on top of Bob with the help of the Sonic Wave from downtown. But Tino has got the counter initiation. And RP onto two, but Palace instantly answers with his own BKB. He doesn't give a damn about their base. They'll push him further and further back inside. It was looking like a solid RP, but they don't get anything out of it. They're still going to be cautious, though. Bob now is able to play the outskirts. Now that they've had to disengage and force out their abilities, Tinker can start layering in the damage like we see to end that fight. A lot of buybacks, though.
Holy crap. RR saved Bob's Tinker on 1 HP. He was on 1 HP regenning inside that fountain. Otherwise, he was done.
I was keeping tabs on that RP. I was just seeing where the damage was, but I guess, yeah, like you said, I mean, no Tinker, so
Dire's structures
can't really do
are
much through
fortified.
the RP.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
It's another game of kill the supports. Kill the supports, kill the squishy ones.
Dire's middle
Oracle gotta
tower
go,
has
Lion
fallen.
gotta go. For Spectre, jumping Wyvern every time.
Yeah. And you can't fault anything about what
Dire's
Hustler's
middle
doing, right? Like, that
tower
was
is under
fantastic.
attack.
Able to find him on the back lines. You got the initial lockdown, you got all the burst coming through, and even the follow-up from Mangdai was pretty good as well. But hey, again, 1 HP was all really that forced them to have to back off, because other than a Storm Spirit, I don't think there's much scarier than having to try and take out a Tinker inside of his base. You know, he's always just going to be
They're
able to go
going
back to that
again.
mountain.
Hustler's a bit away from the team, but with BKB, he's so goddamn tanky. Tino's the target at the moment. Bob's even thinking about TPing in as well. They haven't locked onto anyone. It's like Oracle, the sacrificial lamb. Could have been much, much worse though for Execration. Looks like they just get out of dodge.
Yeah, especially like, oh, I'm seeing Tinker taking a little bit of damage, but he's able to get away. If they were able to kill Tino there, I think they could just go high ground, right? You have Metamorphosis in about 15 seconds time. He bought back in one of those previous engagements, so you're without Tino. There's absolutely nothing to set up for this Tinker to actually do work. Like, it'd rely entirely on BDZ, and that's so challenging. You still only get like 2 volleys of spells out on Bob.
This is a big one, actually. Enryu having the Ag Shard. Just that extra little bit of control if you do jump the Tinker. I mean, even Spectre as well is nice having the illusion, so... I think this Ag Shard's still crazy strong.
I love it. It's like, in recent times, it's
Do they jump?
easily the most.
Yeah, they're going to. Instantly Mantis off the silence and an ambitious Sonic Wave. I mean, I guess he's got Arcane, but they're actually just going to look to go high ground once again before Radiant gets set up. RP at the ready. Palace the target. Instant BKB. We see
There's the difference.
Nerf here in the Horn Toss. It might actually just cost him. Tino forced to drop the RP, but he gets absolutely no one. As a side set from Palace, he'll tick out from the false promise and a free set of objectives.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Enryu was even in position there. If the Tinker did continue to push forward, he had that blink forward into the vacuum ready. Didn't need to pop it. Still got quite a long cooldown there, 30 seconds after all of the nerfs over the years. But yeah, that RP not connecting onto anyone, that dieback being expended, it just means that it's a free lane of racks and they get out completely unscathed on Neon's side. I really got to make like a physical checklist of what every single draft needs, because it feels like every single time that a game doesn't work, it's because of X, you know, like they don't have any way to gap close right now on Execration. They have no way to get it onto the backlines, to deal with the Wyvern, to deal with the Earth Spirit when
They're
he's,
going to make an attempt. Bob's so far outside the base. They have the ward on the higher gun, but far out nearby. It feels like there's a heavy job for the Spectre to jump the backline.
Yeah. His responsibility is so big, right? Like, at least, like, Hustler's got the same kind of responsibility, but he's got a little bit more of that safety net because he's got that BKB, he's a support, he's a strength hero, he's got much more mobility in general, and he's level 20 now. So he's got that extra 3 seconds in the geomagnetic grip silence. Very nice against this Oracle.
Is this the play? Go Ags on Earth Spirit. You use it on enemies, right? I don't see it a lot. And I'm not an Earth Spirit player. You can use the Ag Scepter on enemies, yeah?
Yeah, and kick it back into your team.
Yeah. Just get the Tinker. Kick him out the base. Come on,
I don't think they need it. They don't need it.
It's style points. What are you talking about? I feel like you're always here for the memes and style points. Like, am I wrong?
He's going a boring ass Lotus Orb. Yeah.
What the hell? I mean, it's...
Maybe if he rolls in, uses the Lotus Orb onto the Magdire when they're trying to chain lock him down with BDZ.
Nice.
It's a great item this game. I mean, especially against a Tinker, you always want that. Considering he's starting to build into the Hex.
Yeah. You hex yourself, you're dead.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Look at all these wards though from Radiant. Very aggressive inside the die triangle and some around mid, so...
They just want to protect Marb as much as possible. Let him farm somewhere.
Operation farm on Marb.
Let's see if anyone TPs to defend this on this bottom side of the map, because Mob's already set up there. Yeah, we've got Enryu looking to TP through. So Bob, he's back in the base. He's regenning up some of his mana. Enryu is out of position. Nope, not going to catch that one there. And that's the Lotus Orb completed as well. Enryu, even when they're in this position, 17,000 net worth lead, lane pushed up right next to their tower. He respects the potential that they have to look to join in, right? He was standing in the trees to the right-hand side, and he just backs off immediately after he gets that lane pushing out a little bit. Also like the fact that he didn't go the Aghanim Scepter, right? You're against the Oracle.
Yep.
This is... Well, only 2 points in the Fortune's End, but you've got a lot of potential to be able to remove the Ion Shell component.
That's really the only thing that Execration have done to success so far. These pickoffs across the map with the when Spec finished the Aghanims. Like I don't know how you team fight right now. Dire are just gonna overcommit, which I'm more than happy with, onto the Oracle or the Tinker, and they know they're coming outside the base. They're a little bit too late. So Age is picked up on Palace, Shard given over to Hustler.
Why not?
Yeah.
He's been popping off this game. Just give yourself 4 more stone remnants. Crazy good.
Even the vision actually is going to be really nice. I wonder if he puts it in some like Tinker-esque locations in the trees, Tino. This is a good pick-off.
All right.
That's all they can really get though. Like in a lot of these fights, it's pick off, get out, reset your position. Can't stay for too long.
It would be nice if BDZ was level 18 before that engagement. He ended up getting it because of that. So Finger of Death still has quite a long time on cooldown. Otherwise, I feel like maybe they would look to go for more of an aggressive move. Maybe look to take advantage of the fact that you would have a second Finger, second entire combination with the Wyvern still on the deck.
What surge is this?
They know where all this movement's happening though, because of these deep observer wards that we were talking about before, so they'll know that the double damage Terrorblade with Aegis,
Dire's top
Satanic,
tower is under
Daedalus, BKB, Skadi, MKB, and a Titan Sliver is coming at your face. So it's pretty dangerous, and well, wouldn't you know it, they've got the double siege creep wave as well. Maybe they will look to wait for Wyvern to look to rejoin the fight. They'll at least have the Radiant Wave pushing out into them to delay this, to allow him to look to make that that connection there. But wisely enough, Enryu has to be a little careful with his positioning. I mean, if Tina was in the right spot at the right time, maybe you do get that blink in, skewer him back underneath your base. No BKB on him just yet. Does have the Aeon disc, but wouldn't have protected him for too long.
I mean, we just saw what Mag can do at TI. Like, I feel like no one needs a reminder. This is a hero that you come back from such a rough game with the shard skewer back, but it's just not the same hero. The capability's not there. You put Palace on the high ground with Lotus Orb and he can just always BKB off. Like, it's not going to be easy. Ara's probably going to look to try and get rid of the DD.
Oh, with that DD, Palace just crit a range creep for 1500
Very
damage.
cool, very cool. Ara, okay,
In
DD
physical
gone.
form. All right.
Nice shot, nice shot. Right, Tina's gonna try.
Go.
They'll drop
This
the
is the
RP.
Aegis.
The Haunt to the backline as well will stop the Blink Daggers. That's a beautiful way to execute the kill on the Aegis. Can you do it a second time though? They'll make an attempt at an instant curse on top of the respawn, so it'll give Palace a way to reset his positioning. But they won't have a way, because Tino back in the base. Oh my god, that's so crafty. Execration. You might have held the base. Remaining Die is going to try and beat BKB TP out. The rest of the team, though, are they fortunate enough? Hustle the same fate, but Enryu, not so much. He'll even pop the Aeon disc, but he's going to drop. That is awesome. Huge fan of how they took that fight. UK as well on Division. Another hero that's going to be neutralized inside Execration's territory. My oh my, what a fight.
Gives a nice little gold bounty as well over to Bob. Bring him closer towards that sheepstick. So very nice objective for him to be able to, timing for him to be able to acquire. The thing is, though, it was a good engagement from both teams, right? Of course, fantastic that you're able to catch out that Terrorblade, it popping everything onto it. If that doesn't work out, you lose the game. But they're realizing that this is an elimination game. You were already 17,000 net worth behind, down a lane of Brax. Who are they going for?
Dire's
Remaining
middle
Die
tower
up
is under
top.
attack.
Oh, that was a big kill on Bob. Whoopsies. Whoopsies.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I'm thinking like,
Dire's
what
middle
items they
tower
go on
is
here?
under attack.
Oh, I was Seriecraft and my brain's overclocking right now. How do Radiant do this? What do they need for fights? Meanwhile, Bob just dies across the map. Definitely your fault. If you
Dire's
missed it,
middle tower
can't blame
has
me.
fallen.
I was listening to your thinking.
Ah, yes, yes.
They roll in onto the Spectre here, having to be a little bit careful. Still has
Palace
that
isn't up
trick
at the
to cloak.
moment.
Is under attack.
Arsenal's got the gem as
He's
well.
still gonna look to try and dive deeper and deeper. False Promise giving Mob extra survivability. Actually just gonna go for a TPR, but that's instantly cancelled thanks to the curse along with the break, and now there's no escape. Great start from Hustler. He's even gonna roll deeper and deeper, catching out the Oracle, man. It's all Hustler's game. It's his show.
How does this man do this? Even just using the Psychic Headband as well to push the Oracle closer back towards the rest of the team. This man is bonkers. And this is really why, even during game one of this this series, I was like, I want to see some Earth Spirit. We got BDZ and Hustler in the same game because this is the style of play that they're able to make happen.
Tino!
Triple? I
Okay,
mean,
that's
do
a
you
cool
buy back on
RP.
Tinker?
Where's the team? Spectre's gonna buy back. Tinker's up in a couple of seconds as well. They're trying to focus down Palace to no avail, so they'll blow up Hustler. And now Palace looking to try and retreat away, but BDZ, oh, what a manta. Tries to dodge the initial jump, still the Earth Spike is there. Now they're in trouble. A Hex River far. They need some way to be able to protect him. Surge Palace out to safety. Now with the Sunder, they're going to look to try and turn it back around. Tear away, pushes Spectre back. That's a dive back. It's all on Bob now. This defense has to be huge from the Tinker. I don't know. That's a lot of weight.
Radiant's
It's a
courier
lot of weight. Tina
Especially
will
with that
make another
Satanic available.
attempt.
middle tower is
Skewer
They'll go for
deeper
everyone
and
else.
deeper inside. They'll just leave the Terrorblade and
Surely
Ryu
he
on the
does.
agenda. Yes, he will.
Radiant's middle tower has
Palace
fallen.
using the space to continue pushing though.
Radiant's middle barracks
It's one
are
of those
under
fights
attack.
where Tinker had 5 seconds left on his buyback, and you don't want to have to use it, but I feel like he nearly did. You know,
Eyes
it was
on
a great
Tino.
RP.
Eyes on Tino. He
Oh,
got
they got
both
him.
of them. No. BDZ whiffs. Still, they can kill. Bob's on the outskirts, but he doesn't have enough mana to stand around. You got to be cautious. T4 tower with a multi-shot. It's doing a decent amount of damage.
Radiant's middle
But Bob still, I mean, he's lacking
Yeah,
the
it's
mana
gone.
to really stay around for too much longer.
has fallen.
Sunder's
It's
up,
here.
BKB up as well. Chain control needs to be perfect, and it's not. Tino just brought back. He needs assistance. He's going to be able to find it with the false promise. Somehow Tino is still alive. They haven't jumped the Oracle. RR doing so much work.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
At the end of the day, though, it's another lane of racks that you're down. No buyback on Spectre, no buyback on Magnus, no buyback on Oracle. So only the Lion and the Tinker having it at this point. Is built up a nice little bank of gold, though, here for Bob, being able to get closer and closer towards that Hex. That could be the thing that they need to catch someone out who's just a little bit off to the side. And well, speaking of sheepsticks, but Mang Dai, he's in position to maybe look to punish Bob a bit
Bobby.
here. Ooh.
Oh, he blinked into the Shiva's range. It's going to BKB, TP out. Okay. Love me some status resistance on the Matrix. Very cool, very cool.
Very balanced, very fair.
Yes, 100%. Telescope, that's actually pretty goddamn huge. Who have they caught
Who
out
they
top?
caught here?
Oh,
That is a
Tino.
dieback.
Maybe they've caught the Darks here, though. You see this global presence with Spectre and Tinker. The rest of the team are coming. The boys are en route. The Goon Squad's trying to show up. What a
Oh, the
Sunder.
Sunder.
But
Oh,
Palace,
Palace?
does it sacrifice
He's
his
got a
own
satanic.
life, though? But they've
He's
caught
got a
him.
satanic.
No, Bob's in trouble. Remaining Dai stalks him down. Sonic Wave. Bob needs help. Can he find it? Blink away.
The
How has he
defense
done
matrix.
this? Defense Matrix. Bob still. He's going to die on top of the backline. BDZ's trying to find Palace, but he too will lose his life. And Mang Dai is not done just yet. 3 are being neutralized and 2 only have buyback.
He just bought the sheepstick as well, so he's only 75 gold away from this buyback here on Tinker. Still, throughout all of that, he's so close to level 25, 15 experience away.
Armed and
Maybe that might have been the little bit extra that they needed, you know, the mini stun or the laser damage, whatever he wanted to do to be able to take out that Terror Blade
Oh, Tina's
before
gonna
he's
get
able
caught
to walk
too.
up.
He might just have to BKB TP out. Yep. Can cut the wave. Nice board placement. Alright, yeah. Still 25 gold for Tinker. Radiant Glyph as well. Oof, it's gonna be difficult. I love this. Okay, he's going Refresher. This is their way back in. RP, Skewer, RP again. You're not relying on the Horn Toss this game. It's not TI. They've nerfed it too hard. You have to just drop RP and hope there's no curse to protect him. You got to be
think
fast.
You nearly give up Megas here just to A, preserve the Tinker buyback, and B, get them closer to your throne. That is the objective. You want them closer to the throne so that you can get that Horn Toss Skewer back into the fountain.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
You can actually TP's away. If they did that under vision, you could look to make a bit of an aggressive attempt here, but they're going to back off quickly enough. Roche is up as well.
Do they
with
smoke for
Refresher
this?
Shot. I feel like you got to clear out the wave first, and you've also got the TB illusions just pushing on forward. BDZ realizing that. Level 25 now on Bob. He's got that little extra mini stun coming through. Tino very close as well. If he can get an extra second on the RP stun, that would be fantastic for him.
Roche has just fallen too fast. Aegis Cheese, Refresher Shard. Henry also just picked up Refresher Orb as well, keep in mind.
I think you give... Well, I was about to say, you nearly give the Aegis over to Hustler, just because of how aggressive he's been and how much work that you can get done. But they give him the cheese eventually. Nope, never mind, they give it back to Enryu.
Who got Shard? Palace is holding at the moment, okay. Always got Blink. Huge fan of this item versus the Tinker. That is a big way to bring him down. It might actually catch them off guard. More than likely, Bob's just going to sit in base anyway.
Well, Palace has to be a little careful, though, because he ended up finishing the Aghanim's Blessing to free up the item slot there, so he still has the Terror Wave as well to have to deal with his Tinker, of course. So that's the key component that I'm assuming you're talking about with the Blink Dagger. But, yeah, no buyback. does leave you a little bit vulnerable, especially considering it was the Queen of Pain that ended up grabbing the Aegis.
I mean, this is Mega Creep elimination, 27,000 deficit. Man, oh man. I mean, what can Tinker is not good against Megas. Jesus Christ. Do you even just go Agshot now? I feel like you do. He's got enough.
Just laid out the March of the Machines.
Yeah, like he just used like 7 missiles to kill off 1 Mega Creep wave. I don't know. This hero vs Megas is looking pretty doo-doo.
Yeah, not ideal. I feel like this is like a Dagon sort of game where it doesn't do anything to the creeps, but does take out the TB illusions instantly, and then if you're able to get on the hero.
I'm just watching this, like this is actually painful to watch. Alright, well you put Mob up the front. They're well aware the base is not warded at all, having this gem.
Completely out of gold now on Palace as well after finishing up that Swift Blink.
Oh, Bobby. He's got the Matrix, needs to get the BKB off all the false promise, but there we go. The Terror Wave's going to push him further and further back. But a blink out to safety. Latifah's going to die, needs to sell things, everything he can get. Just curse. Okay. It's on the Spectre, it's on the Mag as well. It's going to stop Tina from finding the initiation water back. And Ryu, refresher, whoa, straight on top of the fountain. There's no way they can get out to safety, but there's still the RP finding 2 on the outskirts. So Mamang die, everyone's stuck inside. The damage needs to be perfect. Palace going to blink inside as well. They might have just done it. They have to rely on the buybacks. Age is picked up and Mamang Dyer could try and look for the respawn here. The stuns are still out. Palace gonna try and play with the Manta. Lotus Orb trying to protect him as well. They don't got heroes. They don't have lives. G's are dropped an Ultra to end it, and Neon will eliminate Execration.
Dire victory.
Oof. Well, it's the series result I think we were both expecting based off of how the group stage turned out, but much more of a nail-biting one, particularly in those games 1 and 3 with Neon able to grit their teeth and drag themselves to a victory at the end of the day. Hustler, what a player, just constantly able to get in onto those back lines and yeah, just disrupt a lot of the momentum that they were looking to get for. You know, they have this like this vibe, this tempo that they were looking to go for with Execration, which was always just Spectre go, then Bob go with BDZ there to look to get the burst. And that works in the first like 30 minutes of the game. But once you get too farmed up to die to that initial burst in really quick fashion, you're always going to have someone that's going to look to join in, whether that be UK, which again, multiple times he was there with the Cold Embrace, he was there with the Winter's Curse, hell, even just the Glimmer Cape as well, to be able to protect his teammates, and it just got way too much for Execration to have to deal with.
Yeah, I think as well, Neon overall with how they played that early game really set them up. They had such an understanding of we just have to play this fast tempo, take towers, control the map, really limit how they could utilize this greedy lineup. I was worried for a bit though, because Execration, they had like the 14 to 20 minute period where they were kind of uncontested. They were getting pickoffs across the map, but like you were saying, I mean, Hustler, what a performance he had so far from the Earth Spirit. Just the targets he was able to jump, the follow-up from the rest of the team as well.
Even just Enryu getting that much farm as well out of the lane, which I probably wasn't expecting. Some of it can be, I don't know, like I might be just talking out my ass here, but I think there's some value into putting more points into the Fortune's End as opposed to the Purifying Flames, specifically if you just don't want this Darkseer to have a game. And well, it ended up being just the 1 point super relay. I think he was level 12 with 2 points in it as well. So it was a little bit rough for our 15 deaths. 20 kill involvements, but no kills for himself. It was a good, even team performance coming through from Neon, where it felt like everyone played their role, and Mamang Dyer looked so much more comfortable on that Queen of Pain.
Yeah, that he did. Condolences, unfortunately, Execration. Second team eliminated from the BTS Pro Series 9. It's a team that's still looking to grow. Of course, keep in mind, Mob, not sure if he's standing in fully on the team, replacing a bot. We're not 100% certain, but overall Execration, hopefully there's a lot they can work on, and I'm sure there definitely is, but if they can identify some of the issues and have time to work on it before our next event, whenever that is going to be, and closing up for DPC as well. But Neon are looking good.
They are looking good as well. I liked the way that Neon changed things around. They're like, you know what, you're going to target Mamang Dyer with your and your bans, we're going to target Tino. We realize how strong he is on the Tidehunter. We realize how strong he is on the Mars. They just removed those completely from the pool in the first phase, and they said, you know what, try and beat us. He had to go something a little different in the Magnus. There was some fantastic skewers, of course, but there were also a couple of whiffed RPs. So that's the sort of thing that the Ravage, the Arena of Blood provides that extra little bit of a layer of um, the margin for error isn't quite as harsh if you're playing those heroes just because of the pure range of them. Also, just provides them with that extra layer of initiation as well, whereas it feels like the Magnus is much stronger if the RP is used in a countermeasure. So it just felt like they were lacking that a little bit. And yeah, in the end, Neon took advantage of it. I'm keen to see. I feel like this is obviously a big relief for them being able to take the win, but whoever they end up facing in the next round of the lower bracket could certainly see that targeting Mamang Dai's heroes works quite well. And I believe we also have a interview with Hustler, so I think we
Yeah,
probably should go over to the other Discord just so we can be in there.
yeah. Let's go jump and see. All right, dope.
Alrighty, we're just waiting. I think we might have the potential to drag him in when he comes in, but
I should have power.
power. What a man! What an Earth spirit. We were all right. I'll give you a second to maybe think about what you might be thinking to ask.
You can go first. That's all right. I'll have like a question and I'll try and fill it in.
So generous. So generous.
So
Uh,
generous.
what else can we talk about while we wait for him? You keep an eye on the interview waiting room and see if he's waiting there. Uh, honestly, not too much else to talk about, to be honest. Like at least from Neon's side of things, I thought they played very well. They understood what Execration's fight conditions were, and responded accordingly. There weren't any wasted TPs other than that one from UK after they took the mega creeps that I was a little concerned about. But other than that, it just didn't feel like there were any wasted movements. They always had the potential to rotate through and respond to anyone that might have been potentially caught out with the Haunt, the Tinker, the Lion burst combination. I think he's waiting. Oh, hello, Hustler. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Fantastic performance coming through. We gave you the MVP for that game. We thought you were very effective at your role because, against an Oracle and a Tinker, it's always very hard to have one person trying to catch out both of them. And we thought you did a fantastic job. I want to ask you about how you felt about Execration's desire because it felt like they were targeting Mamang Daya specifically with a lot of their picks and bans in the draft. Did you guys feel that as well?
Not really actually. I don't know. Just I think it's just pressured by Mamang Daya heroes. I think he's like Konka Void Spirit. All these heroes are quite strong. So they might start to think like we need to punish this guy.
And they were able to deal with that in game two with obviously it didn't go anywhere near as well as you guys would have hoped. What were the team comms like when you had Mamang Daya who did not have anywhere near the farm that Bomb did, and you were constantly being pressured, it felt.
I don't know. The first 5 to 10 minutes, I tried to help him. I died like 2 or 3 times for him. Then after that, I just kind of gave up. Man, you just do your thing.
Yeah,
I just split push and yeah.
you did
I
a good
just try to
job.
make split.
Yeah, we were highlighting that the fact that your split pushing was very good, trying to take a lot of the attention away from him and make his game a little bit easier. But Bob was just playing out of his skin that game. Aries, got any questions?
I'm curious on
Put you on
how
the spot.
the team dynamic is with UK and Mamang Dai joining, because when we got to watch Army Geniuses and when we got to speak to UK a little bit, they're bubbly guys. They're very joyous and seem to be a lot of fun to be around. And how has it been with them joining?
It's nice because Enryu and Palos was so noisy, but after that, UK and Mamang Day joined. Oh my god, our Discord is going to fucking crazy, man.
Just yelling constantly in all
Yeah,
of these engagements.
even sometimes they use something like he speaks like Filipino each other and he speaks Indonesian each other. I was like, sometimes I just lose my mind.
And you're from
Especially,
Mongolia, like, what the hell is going on?
yeah.
Speak English at least so we can all understand, So
Do you,
It's sorry, go ahead.
do you like a dynamic like that? Like, as your other teams, do you prefer kind of the quieter, like maybe 1, 2 people speaking, or do you like when a team is really energetic and trying to boost everyone up?
I like noisy people.
Well, you've got the team for it, that's for sure. It's a double-edged sword. Any words for the fans? Obviously we've got a lot of people that watched Neon go through the highs of last DPC season, as well as some of the lows. Obviously, not being able to make it to TI, and now we've got a bunch of new recruits there. So, is there anything with this new roster that you really want to tell people as we lead up to the DPC season?
Uh, if there's any fans of Neon, keep supporting us. Thank you. So we try our best to prove ourselves, I guess, because everyone like kind of toxic to us now. Like Neon is
Really?
like kind of washed up or some shit. Yeah.
So, are we talking the fans, or are we talking the other teams?
Teams, fans. Yeah.
Oh, there's a little bit of spice coming through here. Well, you proved Execration wrong in that game, and do we know who that you might be playing up against next? I think it'll be
Polaris
dependent.
or actually no, sorry, it's
No, I
from
think
upper bracket. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. So one of the losers of tomorrow's series. So I'm keen to see how you guys do in that one. But again, I thought you were fantastic in all 3 of your games today, Hustler. Always a pleasure to talk to you, and best of luck for your games in a couple of days.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Hustler. And well, of course, keep in mind, guys, it's elimination day. So we had one team unfortunately going being Execration, but time to find out who the second team is going to be. We got Polaris taking on Army Geniuses next. We'll send to a break with our last series coming up shortly.